السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. وبعد. The topic of tonight's lesson, inshallah, is about a dua. And it's a big subject. I chose to talk about why the dua will not be accepted and how we'll try our best to make this dua accepted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran ordered us to make dua. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make dua and I will answer your dua. So in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made a commitment to answer the dua of anyone who is making the dua when the conditions applies. And He mentioned the same ayah that those who refuse to make dua, they are arrogant, they are making kibr, they are considering themselves self-sufficient, that they don't need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He said those who do this, they will enter Jahannam wa'iyadu billah. And we'll have another ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. When my servants ask you about me, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say, I'm so close. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. I answer the dua of a person who make it. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي. Let them answer my call and believe in me, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, الدعاء مخ العبادة. So the essence, the core of the ibadah is the dua. Why? Because when you are making dua, this means that you are declaring that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do it. You are declaring that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qadir. You are declaring that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Rahman, Rahim, able to do this, merciful. Because if you don't believe in any of these names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then why you are making the dua? But for this dua to be accepted, there should be conditions. But before I talk about the conditions, I'd like to mention that we'll find in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the stories of the Prophets alayhi salam and our Prophet that they made the dua and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered it. Nuh alayhi salam da'a rabbahu anni maghlubun fantasir. He made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm struggling. You are defeating me. Oh Allah, aid me, give me victory against these non-believers at that time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made these people who rejected Nuh alayhi salam, al-akhsareen, the losers, and all of them, they died because of the flood at that time. We'll find Yunus. He was in the whale, and then he made the dua, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him. We'll find again in Surah Al-Anbiya that Zakaria alayhi salam, he was old man and he didn't have children and his wife cannot give children. He made the dua, رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِن لَدُنْكَ ذُرِّيَّةً طَيِّبَةً إِنَّكَ سَمِيعُ الدُّعَاءِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered the dua. And Ayub, after he lost his wealth and health and children, رَبِّ إِنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. He prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I'm afflicted by this harm, the loss of everything, and you are the most merciful. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered his dua. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in the Quran that when the kafirs at a certain point made dua with certainty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted their dua. And we find this in Surah Yunus, that they are in the sea and then it was, the wind was okay and they're fine. Then there is waves and winds and they thought they are going to drown. They made dua, لَا نَجَيْتَنَا. So if you save us, we will be among those who thank you. Then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved them, then they start committing shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made dua in Badr. إِذْ تَسْتَغِيثُونَ رَبَّكُمْ فَاسْتَجَابَ لَكُمْ. So you made istighatha. You pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He did? He answered your dua. So all these examples in the Quran tells us that when you are in a position of making dua and you make the dua with sincerity, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer your dua. So you'll find the scholars, Jazakumullah khair, they spoke about this subject and they said there is mainly three things you have to have for your dua to answer. Then there is details. The first thing, to make the dua with a true intention and your heart is awake. So when you start the dua, your intention is right. And your heart is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is narrated in one of the stories that a man came to Musa alayhi salam and he said to him, O Prophet of Allah, I'd like to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me more, to help me. And that man was a shepherd. So he said to him, okay, go and make the dua. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will listen to you. So the man, he went, made the dua and came back, waited 2-3 days, 1 week, nothing happened. So he came back to Musa alayhi salam and he said, you said to me, make dua and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer. Musa doesn't have that answer. So he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, what's the situation with this man? He said, oh Musa, this man, he was calling me, but his heart was with his sheep. So how can I answer his dua? So this is what they call it hudur al-qalb. So your heart should be there. You free your mind, you free your heart of everything. It is the same when you are in your salah, which is, we call it khushu'. So you need khushu' in the dua. You need hudur al-qalb. Your heart is there. Your heart is now concentrating that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer my dua. The second important condition, that you are away from all types of haram. It is in food, or drink, or clothes, or income, or anything you are committing. Because this is one of the main things which will prevent you prevent your dua from being answered. And the third thing, which is, as I said, the common ones, that you don't lose hope. So you continue making the dua time after time. So let us look now at some details of these conditions. So there is conditions which is not to do, and there is conditions to do. So what not to do? The first one, they call it عدم الاعتداء. So you don't transgress. You don't go beyond what you should do. You must understand who are you and who you are calling. Because it is very important to understand that you are a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are me. You are weak. And you need Allah's help. You need Allah's support. You need Allah's rizq. All these things. So you have to understand that very much. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned against this. And He said, "Ud'u rabbakum tadarru'an wa khifya, innahu la yuhibbul mu'tadin." So call your Lord tadarru'. That when you make the dua, you do it with passion and with humility, that you need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa khufya. You do it in secret. You don't shout. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like those who transgress. And the scholars, they made a lot of explanations about what do we mean by al-i'tida. So I mentioned maybe 5 or 6 of them. So the first one is shirk billah azza wa jalla. And someone might ask, are there people making shirk in their dua? Yes. So they aren't saying Ya Allah, saying Ya Muhammad. How can you say Ya Allah then you say Ya Muhammad? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet. No doubt about this. But we don't call Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam only can benefit himself. Yes, when he's alive, he can make dua for you. But after his death, it's finished. And we'll not find any of the Sahaba radwanullahi alayhim after the death of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to go to the grave and say, "Oh Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad." And you'll find people saying, Ya Hassan, Ya Hussein, Ya Zahra. And more than this, in many places, you'll find the people calling the awliya, calling the Sahaba. They are going to a grave when there is a Sahaba, for example, and they start, Ya Abu Ubaidah, Ya Khalid bin Walid. And some awliya, like one of the famous awliya in Egypt called al-Badawi. So many people, they believe that al-Badawi can do maybe more than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do. And this is why you'll find many people going to his masjid in Tanta, in Egypt, and sitting there next to the shrine, Ya Sayyid, Ya Badawi, Ya Sayyid, Ya Badawi. And there is business, a big business there. Because the people, they think, Sayyid Badawi can help them. So the first type of i'tida which will prevent your dua from being accepted is shirk billah azza wa jalla. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنْ يَدْعُو مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ مَنْ لَا يَسْتَجِيبُ لَهُ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَهُمْ عَنْ دُعَائِهِمْ غَافِلُونَ. Who's more astray from those who are calling other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Those who cannot accept their dua or listen to their dua until the day of judgment. And even these people that they are calling them, they are heedless. They don't know that you are calling them. So when you go to a grave and start calling the one in the grave, he's dead, he's finished. He doesn't know if you are there and you are calling. Another type of al-i'tida, that when the people starting using new ways of the dua, inventing certain types of the dua themselves. I'm not talking about the words, because when you make dua, so obviously you are saying some from the Quran, some of the Sunnah, but sometimes you like to talk about your needs. Something you are in need, so you have to say it in your words. But when you start saying for everything, there is a certain dua. I see this these days on these social media messages. There is dua for the first day of Ramadan, dua for the second day of Ramadan, for the third day. Even when the people go to Hajj, dua الشوط الأول, الشوط الثاني, الشوط الثالث. And all these dua is bid'ah. It's not from the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when you are starting to make bid'ah in the dua, this is one of the ways that will prevent your dua from being accepted. And one of the other things, when you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something doesn't suit you. It is narrated that Abdullah ibn Mughfil radiallahu anhu, he heard his son saying, اللهم إني أسألك القصر الأبيض عن يمين الجنة إذا دخلتها. So he said, Oh Allah, I ask you the white palace on the right of the Jannah when I enter there. So he called him. He said, come. He said, صل الله الجنة وتعوذ به منها. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Jannah and to save you from the hellfire. That's it. فإني سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول سيكون في هذه الأمة قوم يعتدون في الطهور والدعاء. He said, I heard the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم saying that there is people will make it that they are doing something which is not permissible in their dua. So to start saying a lot of things about the Jannah, about the hellfire, and make it precise, make it short, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. قنا عذاب النار. That's it. قنا عذاب النار. Save us from the hellfire. اللهم إني أسألك الجنة. So you don't have to go to the details. One of the things that can consider to be i'tida, when you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you to do something haram. And someone like to make a business, and he knows in this business there is something haram. And this happened to me. And one day a brother came and he said to me, could you come to our place, Sheikh, tomorrow? I said, why? He said, we are opening a restaurant and we'd like to recite something and make dua. I said to him, what type of restaurant? He said, Italian restaurant. I said to him, you're selling alcohol there? He said, of course. How can the business go without alcohol? And he said, and I said to him, you come to the imam to go to pray and read Quran in this place? He said, yeah, all the Mawlanas do this. Astaghfirullah. So, to start making dua for something haram, this is i'tidal. Because from the beginning you should not do the haram anyway. And then you go and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, help me in doing this. And when we say haram, under this will be everything. Like someone, he's praying against his family, against his children, against himself. All of this haram. To make dua against yourself, against your family, against your relatives, against any believer who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is haram. And some of the Salaf, he said about the ayah, إن الله لا يحب المعتدين, he said, هم الذين يدعون على المؤمنين فيما لا يحل فيقولون اللهم اخزهم اللهم العنهم. So when they translate or explain what the meaning of al-mu'tadeen, they said, those who are making dua against the mu'mineen, against the believers, and they are saying, oh Allah, humiliate them, oh Allah, curse them. And Imam Ibn Salah, he said, it is not allowed to make dua against a person unless there is a valid reason. And still better not to make dua against him. Make dua for him. So instead of cursing him, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide him. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the example in this. When the angel of the mountain came to him after he came from the Taif, and he said to him, I can bring the two mountains with him. He said, no. Allahumma hadi qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guide my people because they don't know. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam actually, in many occasions he prayed for Quraysh. Even at that time they were kafir. Yes, there's certain occasions he prayed against them when they committed certain crimes. But the idea is, instead of praying against your family, the believers, on yourself, all this comes haram. And you'll find some people also, when they stuck by something, they start praying against themselves. And this is i'tida. Why? Because your body is not yours. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who owns your body and your soul. So when you start saying, if there is any problem happen, oh Allah, take my life. That's finished. I don't want to live anymore. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, even he told us, he said, if you reach a point, don't make it direct. Say, اللهم أحيني ما دامت الحياة خيرا لي وتوفني إذا كان الموت خيرا لي. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make me alive as long as my life or living is better for me, and take my soul if this is better for me. And among al-i'tida also, if someone asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to punish him in the dunya. So if he committed a sin and say, oh Allah, punish me. Or he'd like to make a tawbah from something and he say, oh Allah, if I do it again, punish me. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to a person and he found him became very, very weak. And the hadith saying, kalfar, he became like small chicken. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he asked him, have you been making dua for anything? He said, yes. I said, Allahumma ma kunta mu'aqibi bihi fil akhirah fa'ajilhu li fi dunya. Oh Allah, anything you are going to punish me in the akhirah, make it now. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, subhanallah. You cannot afford that. Why you didn't say, Allahumma atina fi dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar. Oh Allah, bless us with hasana, good in this dunya, and good in the akhirah, and save us from the hellfire. And also from al-i'tida we can say, when you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something that's impossible. And the scholars, they gave an example that, oh Allah, make Abu Jahl enter Jannah, or make Abu Lahab enter Jannah. So this is impossible because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they are in the hellfire. And if someone, he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him alive in this dunya forever, and anything that you believe that is impossible, like someone he's not married and said, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me children. Okay, go and marry first. Then after that, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you children. Another type of what we call it al-i'tida, su' al-adab ma'allah. When you don't have the right etiquette, when you are calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, brothers, that when we talk to the people, we try to be polite as much as we can. And as much the person is important, then we are more and more and more polite. And if, for example, someone goes to talk to a king, so he will choose the words and the way he's talking and everything. Now, lillahi al-mathal al-a'la, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the highest example. So now when you are making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to have this adab. And you have to avoid all the types of being not polite at all. One of the ways that which is against the adab, I can say, is رفع الصوت dua. When you start saying Ya Allah, Ya Allah, and there is no need. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum jami'an, he said, إنكم لا تدعون أصما ولا غائبا. So you are not calling a deaf or he's not here. You are calling Allah, Sami' al-Basir. Yani, if you say Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Allah will hear you. But when you start saying Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, is this will make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hear you more? He knows what's in the heart before you say it. Yani before you say it, he knows what you are going to do. Then he told us, ادعوا ربكم تضرعا وخفيا. When you call your Lord, call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tadarru', that all the time you feel that you are in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and make it secret. And when you make the dua, don't say a lot of words which is still talking about the same subject. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us that when we make any dua, make 3 times. This is what he used to do, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you'll find when you look at the hadith, in many of these hadiths, you'll find that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say it 3 times. Like when you finish the salah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. So you say it 3 times. Some du'as came once, but don't exceed this unless there is authentic hadith to support that. And don't say a lot of things about the same thing. One of the Sahaba, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, his son was saying, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-jannata wa na'imaha wa bahjataha wa kadha wa kadha wa a'udhu bika min an-nar wa salasiliha wa aghlaliha wa kadha wa kadha. So Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas radiyallahu anhu, he heard his son saying, Oh Allah, I ask you al-jannah and what's inside it and all the entertainment and so on, so on, so. And I seek your protection from the hellfire and its chains and all the things in it and so on, so. So he said to him, Ya bunay, inni sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yaqul, sayakunu qawman ya'taduna fi du'a. I heard the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying that there are people coming and they are making i'tida, they are going beyond the boundaries in their dua. So the idea is that you make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you can reach your objective with few words. And this is why you'll find when you look at the dua in the Quran, it's precise. And believe me, brothers, sometimes you'd like to think about a certain dua, about certain matter. And there is a dua in the hadith or the Quran about this. Doesn't matter how much you try to bring the words together, you cannot make dua better than what's revealed in the Quran and what the Prophet ﷺ said. So this is an advice to myself and to everyone. Try to memorize as much as you can from the du'as in the Quran, which is many, and the dua of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the problems with the dua these days, and it can cause the prevention of the acceptance of the dua, they call it in Arabic as-saj'a. What's saj'a? Arab. So when you rhyme it. So you'll find some of those who are making dua, from the beginning until the end, they try to rhyme it in a certain way. The scholars, they say, if the words come together and makes sense, there's no problem. Like Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. So this type of what they call it sajja, rhymes, there's no problem with it because it comes, makes sense, it's nice, it comes together. But sometimes I hear some of those Jazakallah khair for trying, they're trying to fit words with the dua to make it look nice. And the problem with all these sajja and rhymes, sometimes it will take the khushu', take the khudu' from your heart, take the tadarru', because the mind starts thinking about how I can fit the words, not how I make more tadarru' to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the things that many of the scholars, they are talking about it these days, that when you find the dua is too long, and also when they read it in the same way of the Quran. And this is absolutely wrong. Because the dua, you say it in your way. It is a way that you are calling your Lord. And if you call your Lord with these like melody, or you are saying it in very simple words, He's listening to you. And it's not narrated that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he used to make the dua, to make it in the same way that we are reciting the Quran. No, never he did that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And one of the scholars called Ibn al-Hamam al-Hanafi, he said, there's many people who are these days making tamteed, that prolonging the dua and make it extreme and making, shouting while they are the dua. He is saying this is for ishtihar, just making themselves well known, and they are trying just to make the words beautiful rather than make the dua in itself right. And we'll find also Mufassir al-Lusi in his tafsir, he's talking about this, and he's saying this is bid'ah, this is makruh, this is wrong, we should not do that. One of the important things which prevent the dua of being accepted is at-talabbus bil-haram. And al-halal will make everything easy, simple. Because when you are all the time trying halal in your income, in your work, in your deeds, so you try to do the halal, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make your life easy. But when you are going to the haram, then this is one of the things will prevent the dua of being accepted. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها الرسول كلوا من الطيبات واعملوا صالحا إني بما تعملون عليم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to eat from the good things, which is halal. And He said, الرسل, to the messengers, كلوا من الطيبات, eat from the good things, do good deeds, and I know what you are doing. And He said in other ayah, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم. All you who believe, eat from the good of what we provided you. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us that there is a person, ash'ath aghbar, so untidy clothes, dusty, and he's raising his hands to heaven, Ya Rab, Ya Rab. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, وَمَطْعَمُهُ حَرَامٌ, his food is haram, وَمَشْرَبُهُ حَرَام, his drink is haram, وَمَلْبَسُهُ حَرام, his clothes is haram, وَغُذِّيَ بِالْحَرَام, and he fed by haram. فَأَنَّ يُسْتَجَابُ. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your dua if everything in your life is haram. And this is the reason for our du'as generally is not accepted. One of the main reasons that the people, they are not concerned too much about halal and haram in their life. And this will have an impact on everything of their life. There is no barakah in the children, no barakah in the wealth, no barakah in their life, no barakah in their health, because the haram became part of the life of it. One of the reasons which will prevent the dua being accepted, al-isti'jal. What al-isti'jal? Al-isti'jal, you make the dua on Friday. So Friday, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that there is a time when Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala accepts the dua in it. And then Friday, which is after Asr, before Maghrib, so you make the dua for anything. For example, if he's going to a job interview, oh Allah, make it successful, this. Then the next week he goes and he has the interview, nothing happened, and he said, oh Allah, what happened? Please. So this is al-isti'jal. Al-isti'jal, you call Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala for something, and if it didn't happen in a few days, then you start complaining, mourning that the dua is not accepted. And the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, يستجاب لأحدكم ما لم يعجل يقول دعوت فلم يستجب لي. And in Muslim, لا يزال يستجاب العبد ما لم يدعو بإثم أو قطيعة رحم ما لم يستعجل. قيل يا رسول الله ما الاستعجال؟ قال يقول قد دعوت وقد دعوت فلم أرى يستجب لي فيستحسر عند ذلك ويدعو الدعاء. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, your dua will be accepted as long as you are not hasten, you are not asking it to happen now. And to say, I pray to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala and didn't answer my call. In another nation, in Muslim, he said, Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala will accept your dua as long as you don't ask for anything haram, or to cut the relations with your relatives. And also if you don't hasten. So they said to him, what is this hurry here? He said, when you start saying, I pray to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, I pray to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, and he didn't answer me, and then after that he will lose hope and stop the dua, and this is what the shaitan wants. Another hadith the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that any dua you will make, it will be answered one way or another. Either straight away, or after a while, or we leave it until the day of judgment, or Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala will prevent or save you from a harm equal or more of the benefit you've been asking. So in all the cases, you are a winner when you are making the dua. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he is advising us here, don't be in a hurry after make dua. Make the dua and leave it to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. Because this is how we believe in Him. If you start to Him, say, please, quick, this means that Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala is not in your command. You are under the authority and the command of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. One of the things that might prevent the dua is when you make ta'liq. Ta'liq means that to link it with insha'Allah, and this is one of the common mistakes. So someone asked, or he'd like to make dua for his brother, and he will say, oh Allah, bring or give this brother a child, insha'Allah. No, you don't say insha'Allah with the dua. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he ordered us, and he said, إذا دعا أحدكم فليعزم المسألة ولا يقولن اللهم إن شئت فأعطني فإنه لا مستكره له. So when you make the dua, be sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept this dua. Don't have doubts. Don't say inshallah if Allah wills, or oh Allah, do it if you like it, or don't do it if you don't like it. The only exception in this is Salat al-Istikhara. Because in Salat al-Istikhara, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it happen if it is good for you in dunya and akhirah, and not to happen if it is harm, might harm you in dunya and akhirah. So when you make the dua, don't say inshallah at the end of the dua. And one of the other things which might prevent the dua from being accepted, al-ghafla. Al-ghafla means that, which is I mentioned at the beginning, that your heart is not there. And this is the problem with the congregational dua. So you'll find the Imam finished the salah and he will say certain du'as, which has been memorized for years. And even the Muslims, they know them. So they will raise their hands, say 4 or 5 du'as and finish. So the Imam saying them without what we call it hudur al-qalb, his heart is not there. The Musallin, they are just following the Imam, what he is doing. So the dua is not working. Why the dua is not working? Because either the Imam or the Musallin, their heart is not there. So be sure that when you are making the dua, that your heart is there. Because if your heart is not there, then your dua will not be accepted. So these are, as I mentioned, brothers, the reasons to prevent the dua from being accepted. I'll say quickly the things which will make the dua accepted. So the first thing is ikhlas. So you have to be sincere. Sincere in your dua. Sincere your deen. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. Secondly, at-tawbah. So make tawbah and make dua. As Nuh alayhi salam said, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا. So make the tawbah, which is linked to the istighfar, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send you, or will send to you rain. So, to make your dua accepted, make tawbah, and inshallah, bi'idhnillah, your dua will be accepted. التضرع والخشوع. So, have khushu' when you make the dua, and make tadarru'. Tadarru', make the dua comes from your heart, and be so humble when you do it. Ilhah wa tikrar, say it 2-3 times as the Prophet ﷺ used to do it. And make dua in all your situations. So if you are fine, everything goes well, make dua. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep it going. If you are in a calamity, there is problems, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve you from this. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us that those who are making the dua in raha and shiddah, so when you are okay and when you are in hardship, their dua will be more accepted, insha'Allah ta'ala. And as we said, when you make dua, don't raise your voice. So to make your dua accepted, make your dua when you say it in a low voice, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this in many ayats. And tawassul bi asma'illahi al-husna. And this is very, very important. I mentioned this at the beginning, and I repeat it now. You'll find many people when they are making dua, they link it with Anbiya, they link it with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they link it with Sahaba, these, what they call them, awliya, maulanas, all of these things. No, this will prevent the dua from being accepted. If you'd like to make the dua and will be accepted, do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the beautiful names, and call him with these beautiful names. So you need mercy, so Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. You need forgiveness, Ya Ghafoor, Ya Rahim. So call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with his beautiful names. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was in the masjid, and he heard the person saying, اللهم إني أسألك بأني أشهد أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, قد دعيت قد أجبت فسل. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted your dua, asked. So what he used, this man? He used Surah Al-Ikhlas. اللهم إني أسألك بأني أشهد أنك أنت الله. I bear witness that you are Allah, الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد. So he mentioned all the ayahs in Surah Al-Ikhlas, and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, your dua accepted. He heard another person saying, Ya Hayy Ya Qayyum. And he said, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by his greatest name, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer your dua. And he said, anyone, he is using the dua of Yunus alayhi salam, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. With any dua, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that dua. So use this in your dua, brothers. Use Allah's beautiful names, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your dua. It is recommended to face the Qibla when you are making dua. It is not a must, but it's recommended to do this. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did this in many occasions. The only exception when he was sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the minbar, because when he's on the minbar, he will not facing the Kaaba, but that because he's in other type of ibadah. And it is recommended also to be on tahara. So to have wudu when you'd like to make a certain dua. Obviously, if you are making it after the salah or in the salah, you don't need to do more. But if you are at home and you'd like to make dua, special dua, then it is recommended to have wudu. Then when you start your dua, start it with thana ala Allah. Thana Allah, to say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And then you make salah on the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. As the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam heard the person make dua, and he did mention the name of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then he called him and he said to him, you should mention the name of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in your dua. So do this. Start your dua with Alhamdulillah, Salah wa salam ala Rasulillah. Even in the middle, make salah on the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam again, and at the end, make salah on the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and finish it, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا الْحَمْدُلِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. These are just few words for how our dua will be accepted. I remind myself and everyone here, brothers and sisters, stay away from all types of haram. Don't make any type of i'tida when you are making the dua. Try to find the right time, like the last third of the night, between the adhan and the iqamah, and after the salah, when the rain comes, the last hour of Friday, in the masjid in itself. It is highly accepted more than other places. And the example, Yahya, Zakaria, فنادته الملائكة وهو قائم يصلي في المحراب. So the Malaika called him, what he was doing? Praying. Where? In the masjid al-mihrab. So these places is recommended to make the dua. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يتقبل مني ومنكم وأن يغفر لي ولكم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله.